You guys, I hope you guys are doing good tonight. Um, I was asked about my experience running a business in a foreign country and doing everything virtually. I'm gonna say for what I do, because I wholesale properties, and I've actually started another business recently, thanks be to the Most High. But I hope I wasn't covering the speaker there. With the wholesaling properties that I do, I use DocuSign.com. I have like a year subscription, and I use them because that way I can create my own contracts quickly and easily. I can use templates, and I can email the contract to the client. So whenever they sign, I get an email letting me know they signed, and when I sign, I also get an email letting me know that I signed. In case you forget to sign something, and you always have copies of the contracts. I like that. Let's see, what else do I do? I opened up a business checking account online while I was down here as well. I would probably suggest doing that if you're going to be owning a business out of the country. I would probably open a business checking account in the United States. I will be opening a checking account here where I live now, but in the future, I have to go get some paperwork done. I have to get my cellular done, like my ID. I need to get my ID. I never received it in the mail. I still have my same cell phone number and my same cell service as in the United States, which can be a bit expensive, but one deal pays for my cell phone bill and more. I also use Google Voice. I've done quite a bit of business that way with Google Voice, even when I was in the US and out of the United States. Let's see what else I use. Google Voice, regular cell. Oh, I'm also using WhatsApp often because it's very easy to send videos over WhatsApp. It's a lot easier over WhatsApp than by regular text message or SMS. So anybody can create a WhatsApp. You can make like free Wi-Fi calls all over the world with WhatsApp. Most people, it appears to me at this point, most people in other countries have WhatsApp. So I would definitely tell anybody who is planning to start a business in another country, you definitely want to have WhatsApp. You want to download that application on your phone. That's WHATSAPP. You definitely want to have Google Voice. Now there are others. A friend of mine down here has Magic Jack. So there are others. You want like a VoIP phone. You want to make sure you have a good internet service. I think the internet they have here at my apartment is Tigo. I'm not 100% sure, but you can always do speedtest.net whenever you get to where you're moving and check how quick the internet is. Now that's what those are basically the tools that I'm using for wholesaling. I just purchased some new online software for my wholesaling, as far as like sending text messages for purchasing properties and skip searching a lot of phone numbers, addresses, so I'm using Skip to Flip and Text to Flip, and there's another one, I can't think of what it's called right now, but on YouTube there's a guy named Flipman, Flipman. I use his one-page contract almost on every single deal. I trust his word because I've used his contracts and I've gotten paid without a problem. Now recently, that's my wholesaling business, what I do with real estate and properties. So I would say, depending on what business you are going to go into, whatever it is, you want to make sure it can be done completely virtually. And there are so many virtual businesses now, it's definitely doable. Because of Corona now, most people are working from home if they're working. So for instance, I do my wholesaling business virtually. Now, if you all are going to wholesale or deal with properties, you want to make sure you have someone on the ground there. So I have a guy that has bought quite a few properties from me. He's always interested in seeing new properties. So if I get anything new, I'll send him over to check it out. because I can trust him. He's not going to go behind my back and try to take the deal. If you guys have any people you can trust to do that, I would suggest making sure you have someone there on the ground locally. Now, if you're already abroad, that's fine. You can get someone out on the ground, and let me tell you how. For instance, I just started the other day. A guy that purchased a few properties from me told me he needed his house cleaned. Before I left the United States, I had this, I think it's a Mexican lady or a Guatemalan lady. I had her, I talked to one of the Mexican guys I deal with, and I asked him if he knew anyone that cleaned up, because I wanted my apartment clean. So he sent a lady over. This was last year sometime, maybe October last year. She came over, she cleaned up, she did a great job. I had a 1-bedroom apartment. She charged me $50. So I didn't complain. She did a great job. So a year later, this guy asked me, he's like, hey, you know anyone that cleans houses? I need this house that I purchased cleaned up. So I started reaching out to some of the people that I dealt with in the past, and they gave me her phone number, and I contacted her and I sent him to clean up her property. After that, he called me the week after and the week after. So now I just started a new business where I send maids. I have 2 girls working for me now, where I send maids to clean up Airbnbs, something I can do virtually. I'm able to pay the 2 females by Zelle, Zelle, and I have them, I'm working on getting everything going. I just started this business about a month ago. So I'm working on having them go to a property. Most of them you can access by like a numerical code, like a 4-digit code. So I have them go to the properties, video what the place looks like before they clean it up, and let me know what time they get there, and then video the place after they clean it up. And I want them to send it to me on WhatsApp, and for them to let me know what time they leave. I will be paying them hourly. Sometimes I pay them based on the job, but in the near future I'm going to be paying them hourly. So I'm doing that now. So what I would just say is make sure you start looking up ways to do things virtually. DocuSign is a great way to send and receive, to sign and have contracts signed. I use it often. I think it cost me $130 or $160 for the year, something like that. But it's worth it. 100%. I've made like tens of thousands of dollars using DocuSign. Let's see, what else do I use? Now with the wholesaling, it's a little different again, because once the deal is done, so I basically bring the person that owns the home and wants to sell it and the person that wants to buy the house together, right? So I don't have to be at the closing. I get the house under contract by DocuSign. I don't have to be at the closing. So I just make sure I send my paperwork to the closing company and I have them wire me the funds. I would suggest that you guys, once you leave the United States, when you're dealing with payments, don't deal with checks unless it's coming from a person you know and or trust. Deal with wires, especially if you're dealing with like a closing company. I always suggest have them wire the money into your checking account or your business checking account. So it hasn't been hard for me. It took a little getting used to it. It hasn't been hard for me dealing with the business virtually. I prefer dealing with the business virtually. I think it's easier than having to be face to face and having to actually be there. But you do want to make sure you're more organized. You have to contact people 3 or 4 times sometimes to make sure they are where they need to be. Because you can't go there and say, oh, well, the girl cleaned up well. You don't know. So you just want to make sure you have some people that you can trust, and I haven't had a problem at all running my business virtually. I enjoy it. I'm thankful that I can do it. The Most High made a way for me, and it's great.